Hello everyone, this is the real Black Otaku. Now for those of you who don't know, I have been tagged. What does that mean? That means that I have been selected to answer a list of questions and then in turn tag others. This tag chain started with Ninja Mushi Reviews, who tagged a reviewer I subscribed to called the Black Critic Guy. Seeing this tag video, and others, reviewer I subscribed to, Star641, decided to make a tag video of his own using the same questions. He tagged another reviewer I subscribed to, HS Me a Nerd, and then she in turn tagged me. Without further ado, let's get started. First question is, what are my favorite and least favorite anime genres? Now, usually I'm pretty lenient with the shows I watch, genre usually not being a deciding factor, but for the sake of answering this question, I will list two for each. I'm going to be putting my man card on the line with this first one, but one of my favorite genres is romance. The idea of two individuals, sometimes complete opposites, come together romantically is beautiful. That my love life is total shit, and I love seeing people succeed where I failed. There are also many things you could do to make things interesting, including being childhood friends, a chance encounter years ago, and even fate bringing them together. My other favorite would be fantasy. As one who tends to watch anime as a means to escape the bullshit that is real life, fantasy is an ideal choice. They create these worlds that make you want to be there. One of my least favorites is slice of life. The concept behind it really doesn't interest me unless I know there's some sort of emotional investment involved, like Anohana or Little Busters. My other least favorite is shonen, which is kind of ironic because shonen usually falls under fantasy, which, if you've already forgotten, was one of my favorites. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed several shonen. Soul Eater was one of my first anime, and as a critic, Fullmetal Alchemist is one of the greatest anime ever. Now when I say shonen, I'm talking more about the big long-running over-the-top superpower ultimate final form shonen, like Dragon Ball Z or the Big Three. And then again, Fairy Tail is one of those big long-running over-the-top superpower ultimate final form shonen, but it's one of my personal favorites, and one I'm going to be giving a lot of praise in a later question. Question number 2, is there an anime that I loved so much that I just had to read the manga? I'm just going to go ahead and change that to source material. You'll see why. Usually, I'm not a manga reader. The idea of realizing that something I've loved for years being total shit compared to its source material really doesn't appeal to me. See Harry Potter. But I've actually read the first handful of chapters of the Elfen Lied manga that I stopped reading about a year ago, and have only just recently picked it back up again. Now, as one who has a sweet spot for visual novel adaptations, I am very tempted to blow what little money I have on some of the visual novels some of my favorite anime were based off of, including but not limited to Shuffle, Epic Fairy Tale of 2, and anything done by Key. Question number 3, what is my favorite anime power? That would be alchemy from the Fullmetal Alchemist franchise. Though it adds a touch of science to the fantasy, I don't mind it because I've always been a science kid ever since I was young. It's a very simple concept, but there is so much you can do with it. The sheer versatility of alchemy will blow your mind. Geass from Code Geass and Dragon Slayer Magic from Fairy Tail are a couple of good runner-ups. Question number 4, what anime cliffhanger annoyed me the most? Now when I think of cliffhangers, 4 anime come to mind. Many people were annoyed because of the constant cliffhangers in Attack on Titan, but I didn't mind them. Ninja Mushi Reviews referenced Kill la Kill episode 18 when he answered this question, but I saw that more as a well-executed plot twist that got me more invested in the story than I already was. Besides, episode 12 had more of a cliffhanger because it took 3 weeks for episode 13 to come out. The first cliffhanger to really annoy me was the ending to episode 175 of Fairy Tail. We finished an amazing fight, and a couple more important plot points were introduced, and then we get a to-be-continued ending? What the hell? Now at least Fairy Tail started back up. The one cliffhanger that really pisses me off would be the ending to Yumiko's arc in Little Buster's Refrain. She was my favorite of the new girls, and I was really disappointed when she did not get her own arc in the first season. However, I was really glad to see that the first arc of Refrain was hers, but at the end of it, I expected to get one more episode in order to get some more closure, but never happened. And then I thought that she would get her own OVA at the end, like what Clan did for Tomoyo and Kyo. But I never got that. I just have one request for you, JC staff.
Well then, could we at least pull up here and get some dinner? 'cause I like to be wined and dined after I've been fucked.
Question number 5. What is my favorite moment in anime? There have been several great moments in anime. The Zero Requiem from Code Geass R2, Finding Minma from Anohana, the Christmas episode of Toradora, Koda and Lucy's Goodbye from Elfen Lied, Ed's last transmutation from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and Defeat from Higurashi Kai, just to name a few. However, there is one scene that stands out above the rest. In fact, there are 2 scenes from episode 12 of Angel Beats, only a few episodes apart from each other. They are Yuri's classroom speech and Yuri in the computer room. I spent nearly an hour trying to put the feelings that these 2 scenes gave me into words when I was writing the script, and I couldn't. Even if I could, nothing I could say could do these scenes justice. You have to see the show to truly understand. If you haven't seen Angel Beats yet, I highly recommend you do so. It's my number 2 favorite anime, for a very good reason. Question number 6. Who is my favorite anime reviewer? I subscribe to several anime reviewers, each one of them having something good about them. Gigak's hilarious. Holden seems like an awesome guy and never fails to make Pataku fun to listen to. Black Critic Guy has this personality about him when he's on screen that makes it impossible for you not to love him. I've become very good friends with Star641, and even though most of her content is on her blog, It's Just Me and Nerd still has a lot of good stuff on her channel. I've actually chosen 2 reviewers to answer this question with. The first is actually the first anime reviewer I subscribed to, Shadow ACS. Now, I wanted to review anime rather soon after I started watching it, but Shadow ACS was the one who truly inspired me to do it for real. He might be opinionated, but he's very analytical and brings up some very good points. The other is J.R. Okada. He presents his material in a very organized, professional manner, and usually doesn't let his personal biasm cloud his judgments. Someone actually commented on my 5 cm per second review, asking if I get my scoring format from J.R. Okada. My answer is question number 7! If I owned Avatar The Last Airbender, would I put it on my anime shelf? Now, that would be implying that I have an anime shelf. I am broke and can hardly afford to buy any anime, let alone enough to warrant its own shelf. But then again, I have premium memberships to both Crunchyroll and Funimation, but I'm getting off topic. So hypothetically, if I had a shelf delegated entirely to anime, would I put Avatar The Last Airbender on it? I don't think I would. Avatar is an American cartoon, and even though it looks and seems like an anime at times, it isn't. Avatar was an amazing show, and anime is a great medium on its own, but counting Avatar as an anime is like comparing apples and oranges. They aren't the same and shouldn't be grouped together. Question number 8. What anime does not get enough love? Now, my first instinct is telling me to say 11 Eyes, but with a little help from Shadow ACS, it has gotten more attention, a lot more respect, and quite a bit more love. Not to mention it has a damn good Brit series. So, I will answer this question with F A Tale of Melodies, also known as F A Tale of Memories Season 2. Now, I will admit that Melodies wasn't nearly as good as Memories, but it was well worth the watch. It answered many questions about one character, and gave some much-needed closure for another. I'm aware that many people tend to skip over a certain adaptation or standalone season because it's popular opinion that the other is better. See Canon, Fullmetal Alchemist, and Evangelion. But there is no excuse for why F A Tale of Melodies is so underrated, especially seeing how popular the first season was with the romance crowd. Question number 9. What is my favorite relationship/bond in anime? Now, I know most would answer this with their favorite couple, pair of siblings, or dynamic duo, but I'm gonna go with a group of people. This group of people being the Fairy Tail Guild from Fairy Tail. The Fairy Tail cast makes up my favorite character cast in anime. It's better than the character cast for Clad and Fullmetal Alchemist if you ask me, and is the reason why I have kept watching it for nearly 200 episodes. It does have a few of your typical anime archetypes, your childish yet freakishly overpowered main protagonist, your tsundere love interest, the rival to the main protagonist, female badass, a lolly, and hell, even a yandere. But there is a lot more to each one of them. Every one of them is very likable, even if it takes nearly 70 episodes of no screen time to become so. And their chemistry is wonderful. Fairy Tail is more than a guild of wizards. They are more than a group of friends. They are family. A dysfunctional family, mind you, but a great family nonetheless, and one that I would more than love to be a part of. 10th and final question, what is my favorite anime? The answer is very simple. School Days. Just kidding. Or am I? In all seriousness, anyone who's seen any of my videos will know what my favorite anime is. My first video was of my top 10 favorite anime, my second video was a review of my favorite anime, and with the exception of my reaction to episode 176 of Fairy Tail, has been mentioned in every single one of my videos since in one way, shape, or form. In fact, it's been mentioned several times so far in this video. My favorite anime is Elfen Lied. In order to get a quick idea of why I love Elfen Lied so much, you can go ahead and watch my review by clicking on picture right out here. As a critic, I can only defend it so much, but as a fanboy, I am willing to defend the show to the death. It's not the greatest anime ever, and it's definitely not for everyone, but if you can get past a lot of the darker subject matter, it is a beautiful anime, and it holds a special place in my heart. Hope you guys enjoyed my responses to these questions. If you want to, go ahead and answer some of them down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go check out my vlogging channel at Alice Play Trolling, which you'll be able to click right here or in the description. Before I leave you, I feel obligated to keep this chain going by tagging 2 more people. The first is Holden Reviews. Now, while the second person is not an anime reviewer, he is the creator of the before mentioned 11 Eyes of Brit series. This person being Peter and Fright's very own P-Dragon619. I hope neither of you are too busy. Who am I kidding? It's not like either of you are going to be putting out a new review or episode anytime soon anyway. In all seriousness, I really look forward to your guys' responses to these questions. Anyway, this is the real Blocky Talkie signing out. See ya.